Welcome to the Foreign Accent Stamp, the podcast that proves your voice is your greatest asset. I'm Rania Hupshar, and each week I bring you powerful insights, solo episodes, and conversations with non-native English-speaking entrepreneurs and high achievers who've built success on their own terms. This is about more than just speech. It's about mindset, growth, and owning every part of who you are. Are you ready to step into your next level? Let's dive in. Hello, and welcome back to another episode of the Foreign Accent Stamp. Today's episode is all about the power of saying no. So my question to you, when was the last time you said yes to an opportunity or to someone when you really, truly meant to say no? Was it today? Was it yesterday? I bet it was sometime this month, at least. Because we like community. We as people like community. We like to be seen. We like to be heard. We like to be understood. We don't like to not please other people. And this is coming from a recovered people pleaser, by the way. So I'm saying this with love, not with judgment. I'm asking you, what were you sacrificing? So think about the last time you said yes when you wanted to say no. What were you sacrificing? Was it your time? Was it your energy? Was it your sleep? I bet it was something that you thought you should spend your time on rather doing than doing the thing you said yes to, even though the thing or the person or the opportunity might have been quite exciting, but actually it cost you more than it's given you. The thing is with saying yes costs you something. Saying yes always has a price. So what are you sacrificing by saying yes to? So in this episode, I want to tell you when you could say no more and also mean it. Because I bet a lot of you are going, I don't want to be selfish. I don't want to disappoint the other person. I don't want to miss out on something that might potentially maybe be great. Listen, most people say yes out of guilt, of fear of missing out, of some sort of obligation. But every yes means a no to something else. And try to prove me wrong, by the way. So let's dive in. Number one, when you can say no more is when it is about time restrictions. So think about it this way. You only have 24 hours in a day. You only have so many days in your life. You don't have unlimited amount of hours, of days to spend, unfortunately. That's what also makes it so valuable. So why wouldn't you protect it? Because saying yes to one thing means saying no to focus, to rest, to better opportunities, to sleep, like I said before. Because when you overcommit to projects, like endless meetings or social gatherings, social plans, you don't really truly enjoy, it doesn't give you any energy back. So by the end of it, you feel more depleted. You've lost the time that it took you to get there or to do the thing for no return. You just wasted your time. You gave your time away. Doesn't necessarily mean it was wasted, but you gave your time away when you could have given your time to something else that had a much greater ROI, right? Number two, when you can say no more, is when it doesn't align with your goals. And this can be fitness goals, these can be business goals, these can be life goals, relationship goals. Just because you can say yes doesn't mean you should. Because if it's not moving you towards your goal, it's holding you back. It's moving you into a different direction, but certainly not towards your goals. So for instance, the other day, I said no to building a friendship, potential friendship. I liked the person. We had fun, like we met each other at an entrepreneurs event in London. We laughed and like there was a connection there, but I knew this person wasn't pursuing similar goals than me. And there's only so much time in my day. See, number one, time. And number two, only so many opportunities to pursue my goals. So if I don't have people around me that don't pursue the similar or the same goals, chances are they're holding me back. Because by spending time with them, like not talking about business, not talking about marketing, not talking about, personal development, growth, for instance, it doesn't move me closer to my goals. I'm not saying there is something wrong with it. This person might have been an amazing friendship or an amazing friend, but not at this time in my life. And this doesn't mean that this person is bad. It means this person is not the person for me. So these points that I'm telling you now, they're intertwined, as you can see. And I always ask, does this support my bigger vision? If I go to an entrepreneurs event in London, does this support my bigger vision? Yeah. Do I go to the cinema and spend a lovely evening with some of my friends? Does this support my bigger vision? Probably not. Always ask, does this support your goals? This opportunity, this relationship, this person. If it's not moving you forward, it's holding you back. Number 3, when to say no more is when it affects your health. If you're saying yes to too many things, you're saying no, potentially. No, except if you're saying yes to sleep, of course. But yes to going out, yes to working 3 jobs. And I'm talking about myself here as well. I've spent the majority of my 20s running from one job to the next. I had 3 jobs while I studied. And I was also part of a choir and a board committee. And I was spreading myself too thin. And I was literally running on 4 to 5 hours of sleep a night for a number of years. And my health took a massive hit. I wasn't eating right. I wasn't sleeping right. I was not doing my health a favor. Yes, I could save the money and travel the world, and I'm very grateful, but I didn't say yes to my health. Not at all. If you say yes to too many things that don't benefit your health, you're at the risk of running yourself into burnout. So treat your health, and as with many of these episodes, I'm saying this to myself as well. Protect your health by saying yes to your health, because your energy is a resource that you need to guard, that you need to protect. Because without your energy, without your sleep, without your health, you don't have anything. So instead of saying, oh, let me just finish this project, so you're working late, you're skipping sleep, you drain your energy, you drain your health until there's nothing more to drain. That was number 3. 3 more to go. Number 4, so when to say no more, is when it hurts your relationships. If you say yes to someone or a group of people that you know are quite cool, but they don't bring you the same joy or the same gratitude that perhaps someone else would, then it steals time from the right people. It doesn't mean they're bad people. It just means they're not the right people for you at this time. And guess what? If you say yes to someone that you know it's not 100% yes, over time it causes you resentment, and you ask yourself why this person always wants to meet up with you or always wants to do these things or, wants to sign up, do some work-related stuff with you that you're not really passionate about, and your yes should have been a no. Over time, you develop resentment. You start to resent the person, and that's not a nice place to be. So instead of saying yes to the person out of guilt or out of shame or out of something else, people pleasing, try to say no, because by saying no, you're actually respecting them more instead of going, oh, yeah, we could do that, even though you'd rather go home and, binge watch the latest Netflix series. It doesn't help you out. It just steals time from the right group of people or the right amount of sleep from something else. And guess what? If you're not spending time with the right people, other people will see this and think, oh, why are they spending time with them? Like, I thought this person was different. If someone was all about fitness and pursuing their next Ironman or train for their next Ironman, and you see them at an all-you-can-eat buffet with another group of people, like, this doesn't make sense, right? Apart from the fact that you're doing yourself a disservice, but you know what I mean. So number 5, when you could say no more, is when you know you need to say yes to yourself. And I alluded it when I talked about energy and health and sleep already, because every no creates space for a yes for yourself, for something that actually matters, because no one else is taking care of yourself. No one else but you. So whether you can work on your growth or creativity, like if you wanted to get back to drawing that you haven't done so for a number of years or even since childhood, and you want to draw more, you want to paint, but you don't have the time, then every yes to something else means no to your creativity, no to your inner child that wants to come out and play. And guess what? If you let yourself have the time to do something that is meaningful to you, you're going to show up way differently, because you're going to feel the passion. You're going to feel the peace. So don't say yes to extra work or extra opportunities, because it means you would say no to build or work on your own project. It means you would say no to yourself. So say no to something else so you can say yes to yourself. And the last thing, when you could say no more, the last point, is when you need room for better opportunities. If your plate is full, you can't take anything else on. It might be the greatest opportunity of your life, but if you don't have time for it, if you don't have the energy, you can't. And you're going to resent everything else that you said yes to before. And I can hear many of you saying, oh, well, but maybe, I don't know, if I went, then maybe something miraculous happened. And, I would have missed out if I said no to it. So, really, am I not increasing my chances of something great happening if I say yes? Well, potentially. Not gonna lie, but what are the chances really? If you say yes to something that that you suspect with great certainty is not going to bring something extraordinary or something that brings you true joy, why do you waste your time? If you're a comedian and you say yes to doing small gigs like every single night of the week at a local pub, then when would you have time to say yes to something that is in a bigger city, at a bigger on a bigger stage? Always leave room for something great to happen. It doesn't mean you need to say no to every single thing that's coming your way just at the chance of maybe something bigger happening. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying you should say no to everything. Maybe you can provide an alternative. Hey, I could commit to every Monday, but not any other day. And this brings me to how you could actually say no without feeling any guilt or without backtracking later. It's always best if you don't leave the door open when you truly don't mean to. Because if your colleagues ask you, hey, you want to grab a beer after work, for instance, and you say, oh, tonight I'm busy, guess what? They're going to ask again. If you don't like to go out for drinks, if you don't like to spend any more time with your colleagues outside of work, if you don't like to spend any more time than necessary with them, doesn't mean they have to be bad people. If you don't like to spend more time than necessary, that's okay. You can just say, hey, I'm not really in the mood to go out for drinks after work. After work, I just want to go home. After work, I just want to hit the gym and then go home and watch a movie or work on my business. You're doing yourself a disservice if you bring any excuse as to why you can't join. So don't leave the door open if you truly don't mean to. If you wanted to go out and you say, hey, I really can't tonight, or hey, I'm tired, but feel free to ask me again. If you truly mean it, then that's okay. But don't say, hey, I'm busy, if you don't ever want to do it. Sometimes you could also, that depends on the person and the culture a little bit. I know in Switzerland, for instance, where I grew up and spent most of the time of my life in, people are much more direct than they are here in the UK, for instance. So generally, you don't need to over-explain yourself. You can be direct or you can be kind, but you don't need to over-explain. Then, if you want to, you could also offer an alternative. That's what I did today, for instance, because someone asked me to partner with them on a project, and I can tell they're a great human being, and the project is great. It just doesn't align with my goals entirely and with the time that I have. Because I have projects and goals on my own, and I knew if I had said yes to this, I would have said no to things that mattered more to me at this point in time. However, I said to them, if you needed my help with XYZ, I'm truly happy to help. Just let me know until you've gathered your team and you can delegate the work. But until then, I'm happy to help you prepare for this thing. Right? So it doesn't have to be a harsh no. If you wanted to help or if you wanted to do something that was similar, offer an alternative. Say, hey, no, this doesn't fit into my calendar. This doesn't align with my goals, but I'm happy to do XYZ instead if you wanted to. And trust me, the more you say no, the easier it gets and the more confident you get at doing so. And yes, I truly believe this is the case because it has been for me. It was the most difficult thing to do when I was in my early 20s because, as I said, I was such a people pleaser. I didn't want to hurt my friends. I didn't want to disappoint them. But guess what? I disappointed myself because I said yes to things that I truly did not enjoy. I enjoyed them, but not the thing that we were doing necessarily or the event that we went to. And I had to learn that every no meant a yes for me. You know? Your yeses shape your life just as much as your no's do. So please be intentional with them. I have a challenge for you. And I bet you're going to go, no, don't make me say no. See the irony? So this week or this month, say no to one thing that doesn't serve you and that you truly know you would have normally said yes to reluctantly because you're a people pleaser or because you're just so used to going along with things that you didn't really want to do. Say no. Say no. You don't have to over-explain yourself. You don't have to be rude. You can be kind. But say no so you can say yes to yourself. No is a full sentence. So use it. You know, if you don't find it very easy to decide, I have a sentence that I can't remember who it was from. It was from one of my mentors, the people I follow with regards to business on Instagram. But someone said, if it's not a hell yes, it's a fuck no. Pardon the French. I hope this helps. Let me know. Say no to something you truly don't want to do. And this was your voice of encouragement. Hear you at the next episode. Thanks for listening to the Foreign Accent Stamp. If you love this episode, share it with someone who needs to hear it. And if you want to support the show, take 10 seconds to leave a 5-star review. It helps more people find these conversations, and it would mean the world to me. For more insights or to nominate a guest, head to ranyahupshar.com/podcast. Until the next episode, I appreciate you.